Guys, we got some shocking revelation from ONVO CEO himself. He recently did an interview, and the information provided is bone-chilling, all right? And it explained why ONVO sales are the way it is. It's a little bit struggling, and also some of the big mistakes that they've made. So first of all, what happened to ONVO sales? What happened to sales exploding, orders exploding? According to ONVO CEO, orders were indeed exploding. And there were a lot of people at ONVO launch that ordered the car, and they were all going to buy an ONVO. But what happened was that ONVO had prepared 20,000 vehicles for delivery beforehand, but they were not able to fulfill the demand of the orders before the end of 2024, before the 15,000 RMB trade-in subsidy was coming to an end. And because of that, a lot of people have given up their orders to buy something else that they can take delivery of before the end of the year. Now, a similar situation happened back during the ET5 launch. They launched the ET5, started delivery in September, and then there was a huge, massive amount of orders and people waiting for delivery, but then they couldn't get it to customers before the end of the year, before the subsidy, national subsidy. And you would have thought that perhaps they learned their lesson. And back then, if you rewind the clock, what happened? Well, in order to keep those orders from flowing away, they initiated a plan where if you kept your order, and even though you take delivery of the car in the next year, 2023, and but you locked in your order at the end of 2022, you could still get that subsidy, but it was coming out of NIO's pockets. So that way, people won't be switching to something else, right? But apparently, they didn't do stuff like that with ONVO because the car is much cheaper, and I can understand like doing that comes with a much higher cost. But you would think that they had all this time to prepare and they couldn't get as many cars out to customers. That is very, very frustrating. And the CEO himself admitted this, okay? Here it is. It's translated. They prepared 20,000 cars, but they were unable to fulfill the demand, and that caused orders to flow away. How infuriating is that, okay? They should have, A, launched the car much earlier, or B, really ramped up production ASAP, because of course they would know for a fact that the subsidy at the end of the year is a big cutoff point for a lot of customers. It's a big purchasing decision. Would I buy a Model Y with 15,000 subsidy or wait for my ONVO and miss out on the subsidy? Even if I like the ONVO more, some people would say, hey, 15,000 RMB, that's like 2,000 US dollars. I would take that subsidy, man. So, man, what the hell, right? And then there's this other thing that really pissed me off, okay? And I apologize for being angry. And I'm sure some of you guys might also be very, very angry. And this is the whole entire scandal when it was reported that ONVO was allegedly forcing their employees to buy the car in order to boost sales numbers. It was revealed in the recent interview that the whole time, like, employees buying ONVO cars weren't counted towards delivery numbers, according to ONVO CEO. And what's infuriating isn't that. It's the fact that when the scandal was going rampant and everybody was saying, oh my God, ONVO forces employees to buy cars to boost its delivery numbers, they never said that those employee sales don't count towards delivery numbers. Instead, they just dispelled the rumor by saying that this was just one manager. He was kind of, bad in the wording. Of course, we hope that our employees will buy our car to better understand the car. But you should have said, all right, to completely dispel the rumor, you should have said that the whole time employees buying the car doesn't count towards delivery numbers? Why do you have to say it now when the scandal has already taken its damage? How infuriating is that? So when they were dealing with this whole entire scandal crisis, they didn't even deal with it properly. That's what's infuriating. Okay? And the way they dealt with it was Qinghua, he called the manager to give him a big scolding, telling him, like, this is not how you communicate to employees. You offer them to buy the car, you want them to buy the car, but you don't force them to buy the car. It was that manager's bad wording, and that's his explanation, but they didn't say it doesn't count towards delivery numbers. And now, only now, do they say it. I mean, like, come on. In the eyes of a lot of potential onlookers, this has already taken its toll, all right? And now, saying that now is way too late. So, oh my God. I know what you guys are going to say. You guys are going to say, oh, management problem, that kind of stuff. And I'm sure, yes, they made some mistakes. I can say for sure the product is absolutely amazing, okay? The execution, okay? That is a huge problem. The execution. Selling the cars. When it comes to selling the cars, fulfilling deliveries, that is a problem. And what I think is an urgent need, and that's going to really build up my confidence back in, how things are handled, is if they bring in a guy with a lot of experience. Xpeng did it. Brought in a lady that had many years, 20 plus years of automotive experience. Li Auto did it. When is NIO going to do it? Okay? And this really just changes everything. When you got automotive experience in the company, it makes a huge change in terms of operating efficiency, cost, and then cost of materials. That lady that Xpeng hired got all those things down. Okay, we need a person like that for NIO. That's going to really help NIO out. And that's exactly what's missing. The guys at the top right now are extremely innovative. They're visionaries. They have lots of good ideas, and they know exactly what a product should be like, what service should be like, everything like that. But these guys come from internet companies, right? They don't come from traditional auto companies. And in that sense, they need guidance from people with expertise in order to sort of shore everything up and sort of wrap everything and make it complete. That's what's missing, all right? Xpeng's got it, Li Auto's got it, NIO is missing that right now, okay? And I think once that happens, they bring in some guy with lots of automotive experience, things are gonna become much better, okay? But for now, yeah, I'm pretty shocked. I mean, they obviously knew the cutoff date for the subsidy, trade-in subsidy, and they were ill prepared for that situation, which really infuriates me, and I'm pretty pissed off. I don't know about you guys, yeah, but I'm so pissed off. It's making my head ache. Okay, so I'm gonna end it here. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.